morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch, it's Gary Miller. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
So, good. It's actually about 16 or 17 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago.
I know. Okay, so, raise your hand if you like this forecast. Even with the rain, I'm cool with it.
Well, we need rain.
Yeah, we do.
It's getting dry on top.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about that, too.
Yeah, and actually, when I was talking about Bronco baseball, they may not have to water the field before
they may
the
not
game.
have to.
Yeah.
So I got up this morning. I looked at the weather. Tuned into Scott Larson's forecast, and we might have a little bit of rain today. Looks like we had some rain coming through us overnight. And I go outside, and the dust on the hood of my truck had no new drop marks on it. It was totally dry. Had nothing at my house. If it was something that evaporated before it hit the ground. And about a mile and a half west of my house, their pavement was wet. And then a couple miles further west, getting close to 131, it was. I ran through a rain shower, had the wipers going, and the farmer in the field next to the road was still out tilling, and the dust was still flying. And ahead of us, about half a mile, was sunlight. So it's scattered all over.
It's lake effect rain. No, it's not lake effect rain. In fact, I just checked the radar as Gary and I were chatting, and there is a bigger batch working through the Chicagoland area into southern Lake Michigan. That will roll through, and then it will be sunny. It will be warm.
Yeah, very warm. And
everyone will complain about it. And
yeah, so yes, we're not used to those temperatures, and we've gotten very warm. The Michigan Storm Chasers have been posting about possibly some severe weather Monday, Tuesday. And
yeah.
That's lessened somewhat here, but in the western upper peninsula may have a little more. We still may have a chance. We're not in the highest risk now, but with that heat and energy that gets built up with the temperatures and that moisture, we may still see something.
Well, if you recall earlier in the season, we were not in a severe threat, and we had our Three Rivers Union City tornado. So
yes, we did.
So it's just something to keep in your back pocket.
So on their post that they had earlier this week in Michigan Storm Chasers about that severe weather coming and warmer temperatures, somebody posted on there and says, "Oh, look, warmer weather, Michigan, hold my beer." And Michigan Storm Chasers replied, "Pretty much." And then actually on Wednesday they brought out the Muggy meter again.
Oh yeah,
for the season. And predictions they are looking at right now. So we start at comfortable, and the dew points are down around the 50s, in the 60s, 60 to 65, kind of humid. 65 approaching 70, air you can wear. Mm-hmm. 70 to 75, disrespectful, and then above 75, unfathomable. And the prediction on Wednesday was that on later today and tomorrow we'll probably get into the air you can wear, so about that 65, maybe approaching 70. Might be a little bit less than that, but we're going to be pretty warm and humid. And then on Monday, it looks like we may be in that disrespectful category, possibly.
Okay.
Which means we'll have lots of energy in the sky, and so a good chance of having some severe thunderstorms here or there.
That's right.
And actually, I was checking Michigan Storm Chasers out on their post just a little bit ago. They actually had some pretty good sized hail up near Perry. They just posted it about 20 minutes ago. Had bigger than quarter size hail.
That's good size.
And actually, somebody had posted a photo that actually the ground is white from all the hail.
Yeah.
So they've got some severe storms going through here and there. They're little localized storms, so pay attention to weather alerts and that. Well, we're in that season now, so we'll get them here and there. And with the temperatures, we may have just sort of continuous off and on thunderstorm watches, warnings.
Yeah, do you know what went by rather quietly this year? May 13th, when we all look back to the 1980 tornado. It was,
yes.
I didn't see a lot of it. I saw a little bit, but not the coverage that we have, had in previous years.
Yeah, well, we had the May 6th 2 years ago.
Yeah, May 7th, or was it May 7th?
6th or 7th. I think it was 6th.
Okay. It's one of those 2 days with the with the Portage tornado.
And that 1980 tornado was significant. we're just we're about middle of May now, just past the middle of May, and we're going to have, this is tornado season typically. So may have some more storms pop up, and with the energy that's popping up so fast, we've got chance of some severe weather. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. So this last week, I actually saw some red-headed woodpeckers numerous times, and I'm pretty sure there's at least one pair nesting in one of the trees across the road along the fence line. And we had a pileated woodpecker fly into the yard and was on our big maple tree. And then we had some old limbs that I had cut down that had broke off in a storm and had little logs there. And apparently there's some insects in those and probably some ants because the pileated was sitting on that and peeling the bark back and feasting. So It was fun to see. Apparently, I'm pretty sure I've had pileated nests not too far away in years past. So you can usually hear them, don't see them very often. But having seen them frequently this winter and this spring, I'm pretty sure there's another pair that's nesting pretty close. And that's actually fun to see them because they're so big.
Oh. Producer Steve working hard this morning. He could use some phone calls as well, 269-382-4280. Yeah. May 7th, he looked it up.
Oh, okay.
So
I was off.
I win. I'm kidding.
So actually, last weekend I saw wood duck. So wood ducks are back. I saw a couple of posts that people had seen wood ducks. And actually, when I tuned into the online Birds and Coffee chat on Wednesday with the Kellogg Bird Sanctuary, that was one of the posts somebody had seen wood ducks. So they're coming back. And along with some things coming back, we've got those 8-legged creatures that like to hop on us and our pets called ticks. Not the pets called ticks, the critters called ticks. So we're getting into tick season now, and with the warmth, I know a friend of mine said that they had to pull a tick off them earlier in the week. And there's warm temperatures, and when we see the warm temperatures, the cold ones we got, spells we got, kept them sort of in control, I think. But with these warm temperatures now, and you're out working in the yard net, make sure you do some tick inspections because they're going to be quite active. And so if you're not sure about what they look like and which type of tick, the Michigan Storm Chasers had a post, about midweek or so that they had about ticks. But you can actually go to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and they have tick identification, as do typically the MDARD and DNR do. So you can usually find some, but the health department has some great identification photos and also how to address taking a tick if it's embedded out in your skin, how to take it out properly.
Now, with the weather warming up, I'm going to gravitate to shorts, but I don't walk in the woods like others do. So just make sure you're covered up when you're out there.
But even in the yard, most yards will have working. You're doing some yard work in that, and you're removing some leaf litter. Maybe cleaning up a flower bed or two. Those ticks are just about everywhere.
Okay.
So.
All right. We have trivia coming up, but we do have a call here, 269-382-4280. Jerry joins us this morning. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I happen to be in Copper Harbor.
Hey, way up there.
Yeah, sandhill cranes already in Copper Harbor.
Oh, wow. So they usually come farther
said.
south, but yeah, that's a little early for you up there, I think.
Yeah, I was amazed, and they were a darker color, like a darker brown-gray color than they are down here. Just my wife and I were just like, unbelievable. Sandhill cranes in Copper Harbor, Keweenaw. That's all I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So thank you. Yeah, no, in years past, quite a few years, like about 30, 40 years ago, probably more like 40 years ago, I remember going camping in the Upper Peninsula, and my mother-in-law was an avid birder, and we would go driving in the Hiawatha National Forest, try to find some of the cane brakes with the ferns in that to see sandhill cranes because they were very uncommon. And now you see them all over the place.
Hey, Jerry, do you live up there in
Yeah.
Copper Harbor?
No,
Okay.
we're down in Three Rivers.
Oh, okay. But you're up there visiting right now, or?
Yeah, when we went up there to see some of the waterfalls with all of the rain, it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
gorgeous.
Yeah, so they've had some fantastic, actually a lot of rain up there, had some flooding issues, but all those waterfalls should be fantastic right now because of the water flow going over.
And they were.
You're probably a little bit cooler up there this morning, too, I would guess.
Well, we had 74 degrees up there last week.
Oh, wow.
Earlier in the week. or 72, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, so you're actually warmer than we are.
Yeah.
We're in
It was
the
beautiful.
60s right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Jerry, thank you. Appreciate
yes, thank
it.
you.
All right. Take care, gentlemen. Glad you're there.
You too, man. Thanks. 269-382-4280. You need that number for trivia.
Yes,
you
and
need to
actually-
hit that right now.
Yeah, actually, trivia question. Actually, I triggered the trivia question. I always had trying to figure out what I'm going to do, and Jim actually shared a post that was on Facebook earlier this week about some of the native bees and the mason bees. And while we're waiting for somebody to call in, we're going to talk about those a little bit. So my trivia question this morning is, how many native bees are in Michigan? How many native bee species are in Michigan?
There you go. It's easy. How many native bee species?
He said it's easy and he can't speak.
I don't. No, I gravitate towards beer sometimes. It's too early. 269-382-4280. How many native bee species
Yes.
are here in the state of Michigan? First correct caller, $20 gift card in your hand from
And I'm
Waddell's.
going to be a little bit of range because there's a couple of different possible answers out there, and I'll explain those when we get to them. Because some of the answers may just have bee species and not list native bees. So,
Oh, okay.
but they're very close together.
Okay, there you go. You want a $20 gift card? Give a shot at this. 269-382-4280.
Jim will practice pronouncing bees here for a while.
And not say beer. Yeah, okay, well, that did it. We need to take a break.
Yes, we do.
All right, there you go. 269-382-4280. How many native bee species are in the state of Michigan? Call in. You might win a gift card with Nature Watch on WKZO.
Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center has been adding color to landscapes with top quality plants in the Kalamazoo area for 80 years. Truckloads of plants are arriving daily, and Waddell's greenhouses and nursery beds are filled with the beautiful plants you've been waiting for. For instant color on decks and patios, check out the great selection of potted blooming annuals. Waddell's also has a huge selection of hanging baskets. For a tropical feel, try hibiscus and mandevilla plants. Growing your own food is easy and provides you and your family with the healthiest food possible. There are 9 varieties of potato sets and 6 types of onion sets to give you a big harvest with very little effort. Fresh strawberries are so delicious. This week, save $2 on pots of 25 strawberry plants, or save $1 on pots of 10 plants, now just $8.99. Stop in and talk to the experts and wander the acres of blooming plants at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center on Texas Drive at the corner of Millam and 12th Street.
WKZO.
I like the local news.
More local news on the radio than any other station in town. And online, too, at WKZO.com.
846. Update on our traffic situation, 94 eastbound. We are still showing a little bit of red on the MDOT and MyDrive map, but that is shrinking. So it looks like they are in the cleanup stages, and hopefully we'll get 94 eastbound back up to normal again. You might see a backup. You probably will see a backup starting at about exit 85 eastbound 94. As we continue with Nature Watch, it's Jim and Gary.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do have a caller, 269-382-4280. Rick wants to take a shot at this.
Yeah. So, how many native bee species are in Michigan?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say 465.
So you are actually you're clear in my range that I was allowing. So yes, you win that first one. And so actually, I say allowing because there's a 460 plus or minus. They're not. They actually when they did a bee census in the last 15 years here in Michigan, and actually identified some bees that they had never seen before, native bees. And that 465 bee species that they've had includes some of the European honeybees. So there's a couple of subspecies of those, but we're in that 460, 465 range. Some of the little older data says we have over 450. But yeah, the 465 is what we have bee species here. And the terminology that they use when they list those, sometimes they say native species and sometimes they just say bee species. So I actually did some digging last night when I was looking to try to look up the answer on this. And it's like, well, I'll allow a range today. So you're the winner today.
Yeah, there you go.
Great.
All right.
That's great.
Rick, we do have a $20 gift card for you to Waddell's, and I need to send you back over to producer Steve. He needs to get some info from you, okay?
Okay, you guys keep up the good work.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hang on the line there, Rick. We'll get you over to Steve. He'll take care of business on that end. The Mason Bees article or the post on Facebook that I saw, that's pretty cool. You can build your own little
so
nest.
we have some Mason bee houses at Waddell's too, so they're actually fantastic. You can either hardwood, block of wood. Sometimes you've got a lot of those different native bees, different sizes of bamboo because the bamboo stems are hollow, and they're fantastic working for those native bees. So native bees, and we'll talk about the Mason bees a little bit here too. There's 15 different types of the native bees here in Michigan, and they all have unique characteristics and different sizes.
Oh.
So the groups of types of bees, we have bumblebees, and large carpenter bees, small carpenter bees, longhorn bees, sweat bees, squash bees, digger bees, polyester bees. And no, they don't make the fabric, but they're actually described because their little home that they make, they actually line it, and it looks pretty shiny like polyester, and that's how they got their name.
Oh,
So a little fact about, that might have been a trivia question, but that would be a hard one to find, I think.
yeah, it would.
So mask bees, cuckoo bees, mason bees, leafcutter bees, miner bees, carter bees, and then we get to the European honeybees as far as not native species. But the rest of them are native species, different groups of bees. And they're interesting because bumblebees range in size. So typically some of the first bees that come out in the spring when we start warming up are mason bees. And some of the bumblebee species are some of the first ones. And so you'll see them out pollinating. They're pretty well loners for the most part. Some of the bumblebee species actually do colonies, but there are some loners too, as are the carpenter bees. Most of them, as are the mason bees, just lone individuals typically.
Yeah.
But the little post that was out, Mason bees, and the title of it was "One Mason Bee Does the Work of 100 Honeybees." And if you think about when they come out, honeybees like warmer weather, and the mason bees and some of those earlier bee species and bumblebees can actually tolerate cooler temperatures. They can actually survive and move around in cooler temperatures than the honeybees do. So if you have seen those bees around, and I'm sure you have because everybody's seen them at some point or other, little late to get the mason bee outhouse now, but better now than later on in the summer. So if you haven't put one out, maybe attract some more of those native pollinators. And so I usually like to have a mud source nearby too, because they actually lay their egg into that long tube opening and then lay the egg, and then they actually put some pollen in there, and then they put mud over that and cap it, and then they might do multiples in the same, if it's a long enough tube, so like in a piece of bamboo or something, or like a wooden block that's got holes drilled in. And you need to have those holes, typically they say about 5/16 of an inch diameter, about 6 inches deep. You know,
And
not everybody has a drill press or anything, so
right.
it's nice getting. So some of those mason bee houses are pretty creative. And if you ever go out to the Kellogg Bird Sanctuary, when you're going into the little visitor center there, look off to the right because they have a massive mason bee house.
Oh.
And I call it massive mason bee house, but they've got different sizes, so they get a lot of different pollinators there. From what I recall, and it's been a couple of years since I've been out there to look at that, but if I recall, it was about 4x4 size or so, like 4 feet by 4 feet. They had all sorts of different size holes in there. In fact, they had a couple. Part of it had some bricks with holes in, some of the bigger bees. So pretty neat to see because you see the different bee species coming in and out. Obviously, you get some of the mud daubers and some of the other wasps, but most of those insects are still beneficial. Just don't want to get too close and have them get irritated.
Okay.
That's one of the neat things with the mason bees, that they don't sting. So they look threatening. Sometimes they'll some of those mason bees and carpenter bees and the big bumblebees will be out flying around collecting pollen and nectar, and they'll hover right in front of your face and just stare at you. And so it's always fun to see them. They're like checking you out, and so you can check them out at the same time. I always talk to them a little bit.
Yeah. So. I might sneeze at them if they have pollen.
You might. Yes.
No, my ex-wife sent me something that was just hilarious. This is pretty much following Bohemian Rhapsody, the open for Bohemian Rhapsody. Is it a real cold or is it allergies? Caught in a landslide of pollen falling off the trees. Open your eyes, look up to the skies, and sneeze. I'm out of Kleenex, need antihistamines. That'd be hard to kick out. Because my stopped up nose cannot blow. Fever's high, then it's low. And I'm singing on air. Oh, my God. Anyway, the wind blows. It's always full of pollen. For me. For me. There you go. I'm done.
So actually, we'll have lots of the tree pollen coming up. Yet we still have a lot of the pines and spruces are just starting to pollinate.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to argue with you on that one.
Well, but some of the trees
miserable.
But this is the time they typically do, so they're right in a full pollination mode right now. Cherry trees and locust trees are just starting too. Those always usually some of the same time. So we'll have pollen for a while yet because the whole pollen season is extended because of our temperature fluctuations.
Mm-hmm.
So the drought monitor, we're still 100% drought free for the time being. The rains we have coming through might keep us that way for another week. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But Michigan Storm Chasers posted last Sunday, said the good news for your Sunday, no drought anywhere in Michigan. The bad news, our topsoil is beginning to dry out in spots.
Yeah.
Not yet, but soon we will need more rain to maintain our balance between deficit and saturation. And we've been pretty dry all week, and the dust flying with the farmers working in the fields this last week, you can know it's getting dry on the surface.
Yeah.
So we need some good soaking moisture. We might just ease through it this next week, but we need to have some consistent rains or we're going to pop back up into those drought situations. Bird migration is huge right now. We're right at the peak. Actually, I looked at a lot of Michigan Storm Chasers posts this last week, more than I typically have, I have to admit. They actually had a post on there about the number of birds flying over Michigan, and actually went to the Birdcast website, which is a group of, including Cornell Lab of Ornithology and Purdue University, as well as Audubon and numerous other groups that support that Birdcast, and they actually have migration prediction maps. We are looking at somewhere over 300 or maybe 360 million birds per night the next few nights. More than 12 million over Michigan.
Isn't this like National Bird Migration Week?
Yeah, it was actually National Bird Migration Day.
Okay.
Actually celebrating. So, actually, the post, and actually, I was looking at the Purdue site because you can fine tune the prediction forecast maps and see what's going to be happening. They actually post on there. This is a lights out time. So if you're actually the entire state of Michigan, just for basically for the next several days, is in that peak migration window. They say dim or turn off non-essential outdoor lighting from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and close shades to reduce sky glow. What it does is reduces collision risk by lowering sky glow and attracting fewer birds into lit urban cores, conserves energy and saves money by dimming or switching off the non-essential lighting during peak migration, and actually improves habitat quality by keeping nocturnal environments darker for resting birds near stopover hotspots. I know last night the Storm Chasers actually posted a picture of the radar, and the bird migration groups were showing up on the radar all the way down from basically just north of the Gulf of Mexico shoreline and all the way up through into Michigan. You can see these big spots of birds migrating.
I've seen that on Storm Team 8 too, where
they can actually pick those up on radar with those masses, and then they do just sort of estimated counts as far as birds. So we've got going to have a lot of bird migration here. So if you haven't cleaned your feeders, clean those feeders so we can keep them safe from the avian bird flu, and make sure you got food out there for them because they do need some food for resting in that. There's a lot of birds that, eat insects and that, but they also eat a lot of seeds, and they need any kind of food source they can get to help them along the way. So, besides Bird Migration Day, today is National Love a Tree Day. So you can go out and hug a tree.
That explains some of the Facebook posts this morning.
Yes. Interesting thing, next Friday is the International Day for Biological Diversity, and I wanted to share this one fact. Between 1980 and 1999, the world lost over 386,000 square miles of tropical forest. So in that basically 20-year period, that area is equivalent to, so just get a comparison size, to the combined area of the states of Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio.
Wow.
So think of that totally being clear-cut in 20 years. No tree standing. So that's significant.
Yeah.
So plant some trees. They're great for the environment. They can provide shade, provide habitat for birds. Plant some native oaks. They provide lots of plant food for the larvae, for those butterfly and moth species, and the larvae feed lots of birds.
And they provide plenty of tree pollen. Believe
Yes.
me, I know.
They like sharing it with Jim and others. So get outside, enjoy the outdoors. We have some really warm temperatures, and enjoy the tree pollen as much as you can.
Exactly. Gary, thank you. And thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday morning at 8:30 for Nature Watch. Brought to you by Waddell's Nursery Floral Garden and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. Up next, we have CBS and local news, and then it's Andy Waddell live in studio with Over the Garden Fence on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.